Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Hey there, Artie!
No tips? I could have used some tips here,
何ですか
Fox.
あんたたちは
What's going on?
ど
Who
う
the
来た
heck
ま
is
え
Utaka?
ここの責任者は誰だね
Several cars had arrived, producing several men. They weren't from the Yokonomiya station. One of the men was wearing a suit despite the hot weather. He approached me, pushing Kumagai aside. Is it my man? Kasai?
おや、これは。お久しぶりですね。県警本部の
No, it's
大高
Utaka,
君じゃありませんか。
言葉を慎みたまえもう君に君と呼ばれる階級ではない
何かご用ですかね大高君。今非常に
You
立
could
て
just
込んでい
hear
ま
the
す。
resentment in that coon.
まさか県警がこの現場を乗っ取ろうつもりで誰の了解で
私が許
Oh
可した
no!
大石君
Damon Gantz is here.
所長
高杉君から事情は聞いている。君がまいた種だという話も聞いているぞ。君はもう下がって、あとは機動隊に任せるんだ。
Yeah, Filmua. That's exactly what would happen. That's exactly what would happen.
機動隊って大高君あんたまさか吸収する気ですか
危険は重々承知だだがもう爆発まで時間がない君が時間を浪費しすぎたのだその尻拭
Here's
いを
what you do.
我々が
Here's
しよう
what
とい
you
うの
do.
だ
You flood the room with knockout gas from a secret place outside where she can't see. It knocks them all out. You rush in, evacuate immediately. School blows up, but what can you do? Maybe that's a bad idea to not mix toxic, like, knockout gas with gasoline, but actually, I feel like gasoline itself could be a knockout gas.
君らは引き継いで後方に
I
下が
wouldn't
りた
talk
まえ
back if both the chief and a guy from the prefectural headquarters gave me an order. Who is this narrator?
おいさん何者っすかあいつは
大高君昔麻雀がくっそ弱いくせに生きがってたからちょいと叩き潰してやったことがありましてね
Oh! Was Utaka one of the Mahjong players?
それともあれかな剣道大会で偉そうにしてやがったから面食らわして失神させたのを根
Because
に持って
there
る
were
のか
four
な
people playing Mahjong in Chapter 4. There was Uesi, there was Akasaka, there was the damn construction foreman who's now dead. Was Utaka the other one? Maybe. Obviously, we didn't get along.
大石君現在の最新の状況を説明したまえ
あんた本気で
This
突
is a
入する
very
気で
bad idea.
こっちはもうすぐ睡眠薬で穏便に決着がつけられそうなんだそれをひっくり返す機会
もう遅すぎるあと1時間あったらその手も検討できたな突入は府警の専門部隊が担当する君はバックアップに回りたまえ
所長あんた分かってますよねあの教室は今や巨大な爆弾なんですだが一番恐ろしい爆弾は教室じゃない犯人のリュウグウレナ本人なんです我々はようやくそれをなだめ穏便に解決する手順を踏みそれを実行しようとしています時間は確かにもう10分もないでも必ず成功させてみせます講習は私が自らやりますダメなら私が粉々に吹っ飛んでおしまいです首相たちは離れてそれを見てざまみる
I
と
gotta
思ってればい
respect
い
Uesi, even if I don't agree with him on everything. He seems like a genuinely good guy who wants to do the right thing.
大石君、府警の専門部隊はただの機動隊じゃないぞ。
Oh God, you're right. If there was a Hollywood or Netflix adaptation, they would just make Shion like a misunderstood tragic hero. Oh no. And that's because Hollywood for some reason just absolutely hates the idea of there being just like evil characters. I know Shion had like a tragic past and all that, but she was just flat out evil in Chapter 5. And there's nothing wrong with that. We like evil characters. We don't need... I like morally complex characters as well, but sometimes I just like having there be like a, this character's good, this character's evil. Why can't we have that? Why is that such a bad thing?
第二機動隊といえば、君ほどの男なら
Oh,
噂
you
くらい
forgot
聞いてる
if
だろ。
in the Netflix adaptation there would also be a self-insert from one of the new writers for sure.
なんすかおいさん第二機動隊って有名なんですか
5年くらい前だっけ 空港の飛行機に犯人が立てこもった事件があった
Are
でし
you
ょ。
talking about 9/11? No, this happened way before 9/11.
あれをきっかけに東京と大阪にハイジャック専門の
So
特殊
much
部隊が
Shion
組織された
slander?
って噂は聞いてました
She
がね。
crucified a 12-year-old abuse victim. I don't need to say anything else.
実在してましたか。
でもなんだって府警の機動隊がこんなところに。
Utaka smiled proudly.
たまたま県警機動隊との交流訓練があってね、
Really?
特別に応援を要請したのだよ。
相変わらずですね。話をすぐ派手にしたがるその癖は。
The company members exited the vehicles one after another and took position. They didn't move like policemen.
大高君、あんた学校で銃撃戦をやる気かい？一発で
Yeah, I know.
安心
Don't
した
worry,
ま
that's
え
what we want.
突入班が使うのは火器じゃない。ボート鎮圧用の
Yeah,
ガ
that'll
ス銃。
protect you from explosions.
高圧ガスで催涙ガスを
Oh,
放
they're
出
kind of going to the knockout gas strategy.
何の問題もない。
へえ。
Oh my
そりゃ
gosh,
便利な
it's a
水鉄砲
throwback to
があ
the
った
water
もん
gun
で。
fight at the start.
ところでそのおもちゃは校庭を横断して
you
教室まで届くほど便利なもの
Super
なんで。
soaker.
それは君が心配することではない。あとは我々に任せて下がり。
As I lifted my arms exaggeratedly, one elbow accidentally touched the car horn, which honked. Of course, I did it on purpose.
今のは前原圭一を呼び出すサインですか。
ねえ、そうです。前原君が気づいてくれるのに祈るしかない。
今さら彼に何を。
連中は多分グレネードか何かでガラスをぶち抜いてガス弾を教室に撃ち込んでその隙に突入しようってつもりでしょう。連中はリュウグウレナを甘く見てる。彼女は本気だ。ガラスの割れる音でもライターをためらわず点火する。
特殊部隊には制圧できない
They're
って
gonna
こ
be
と
cagey. Can you break windows and go into like a berserk rage?
できないに決まってるだろう。だから今まで慎重に。リュウグウレナは初めから死ぬつもりなんだよ。命が惜しくない奴に突入なんて意味がないんだよ。前原さんしかいない。
おいさん繋がりました。
もしもし、
Moshi
大
moshi.
石です。聞こえてたら咳払いお願いします。緊急の話があります。
Break a
聞いてく
window
ださい。
now.
どうせ悪い話だろ。
悔しいですが、県警が介入してきて、お膳立てをひっくり返すつもりです。特殊部隊が校舎に突入しようとしています。
おいおい、護身用スプレーで拾
Well,
わせ
that's
ても
right. Keiichi does have
そ
the
の
pepper
1秒で
spray.
点火されちまうってんで、俺はずっと抑えてきたんだぜ。突入なんてそんなの無理に決まってるだろ。
Yes, Fulmua. Shion is a sympathetic character who has a tragic backstory. That does not even remotely excuse the horrible things she did in Chapter 5. If her experience in Chapter 5 was basically like killing her grandma by like with the zap gun and maybe like being like, all right, sister, I'm Mion now. That would be one thing. Or if she was like killing people with like a gun or something, fine. She was literally torturing people to death and enjoying it. Even people who weren't even like doing anything wrong. That's where it's like, yeah, I see why you're doing this. I can sympathize with you. You're still evil.
県警はリュウグウさんがすでに死ぬ気であることを理解していません。ライターは脅しで点火するわけないと高をくく
The
っています。
writer Ryukushi, even at the end of the chapter, was like, if you 100% agreed and sympathized with Shion, then please allow me to call both of you insane killers.
多分5分以内に突入するでしょう。突入する前に
What?
なんとかリュウグウ
And
レナか
how
らライターを
exactly am
奪
I
ってくだ
supposed
さ
to
い。
do that?
それは次元破壊装置を何とかしろというオーダーに追加で。
ねえ、そうです。
I
マジ
poor
かよ。
Keiichi, man.
あ
The
と
whole world
5
is
分
on
でレ
his
ナからラ
shoulders
イター
now.
を奪って次元破壊装置もどこ
Rena's
に
like,
か
you want to do what now?
やって
She's
くれ
not
るぜ。
still in the office. She surely must be in the room. Keiichi, what are you doing on that headset?
あなただけが頼りなんです。頼みます。
どうですか、
Man, she's
さ
taking
と
a
こ。
long time to walk back here.
思いつきますですか。1階の廊下だけが知りたいんですの。そこにあるかないか。 レナさんの行動パターンから考えて、1階ならあそこ、2階ならあそこ。
1階の廊下をコードが横断してないかざっと見ればいいん
Does
だな。
anybody know where the breaker box is? I guess, hang on. Well, no, that wouldn't be a good... If we just turned off the power completely, Rena would know and she would just light the lighter.
多分あるはず。普段のレナさんなら断言できますけど、今のレナさんはノイズだらけで行動パターンが読み切れませんわ。
よし、任せろ。もう悩むにも時間が足りねえよ。最後の2択は俺が直接探る。
I don't want another tragedy. You demons down in hell. I bet you're just waiting for an amusing ending to unfold while eating some popcorn. I actually legit think that's what they're doing. I won't let that happen. I'm going to change everything. And I'm going to make you pick up your popcorn off the floor. I spoke to Rena as she continued on about her story about the aliens.
何？どうしたの、ケイチ君？
いや、今音が聞こえなかったか？
She's like, no. Rena went quiet and looked around. Rena had become totally paranoid about everything. Once she became worried, she couldn't ignore it.
本当に？ケイチ君。
ああ、聞き間違いじゃない。
I knew she'd want to check it herself, but she really couldn't leave the room for something like that. So in that case, she'd have to ask me to check for her. Rena must have been thinking the same thing.
ケイチ君、見てきて。
Rena gave me an order with a fake smile on her lips.
ああ、わかった。
Rena watched me go into the hallway. As I did, she spoke to me.
レナを怒らせちゃ嫌だよ。
信用しろ。俺はレナの仲間だ。
うん。信じるよ。信じるから。
You
裏
turned
切
her
っちゃ嫌
against
だ
me.
からね。
After being freed from Rena, I looked for a cord in a hurry. I didn't even have 5 minutes. The office probably had more outlets than anywhere else. I headed for the teacher's office. Shit, where were the outlets? Here's the thing. Rena knows it's going to go off at 7, so when it doesn't go off at 7, she's probably just going to light the lighter immediately anyways. I guess that's why he has to take the lighter from her. Unlike light switches, outlets couldn't always be found near entrances. Damn it, why did the clock in the teacher's office have to make such a loud ticking noise?
大丈夫なのですよ。
It's going to be behind the
ケイ
clock.
チならきっと
The
見つけ
same
てくれ
place
ま
where he
すの
put
で
the
す。
note and the needle that didn't actually exist.
レナさんなら、レナさんなら。いつものレナさんより疑り深いレナさんなら、どこにどう仕掛けますの？この程度がわからなくて、レナさんのトラップで最後なんて、北条聡子一生の恥ですわ。
How is this the second visual novel that I've played where there's the risk of a bomb going off in the school?
なんだこれ。
If I had a nickel for every time there was a bomb that was going to blow up the whole school in the visual novel I was playing, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened 3 times. I saw a plug inserted into the unit under the principal's desk, and I also saw a cord extending under the door to the reception room. There shouldn't have been any reason why a cord had to be extended into that room. The reception room had an outlet of its own. I tiptoed over to the reception room and opened the door. Squeak! The door squeaked as I cracked it open a little. I poked my head inside the reception room. I saw the suspicious cord crossing the room and extending under the door to the hallway. I followed the cord through the reception room. I opened the door to the hallway, and the cord is extending into the storage closet. The storage closet was used to hold cleaning chemicals. I could smell them from here. The cord is extending into there. I carefully opened the door and turned the light on. The cord is attached to another extension cord, and there was an alarm clock that didn't belong in there.
見つけた。
The time bomb. So all I'd have to do is unplug the cord. I picked up the alarm clock. It looked like a normal alarm clock. Actually, it was a normal alarm clock. I remembered Kumagai-san calling it a kitchen timer. He said it was a bit like an alarm clock. But this wasn't a bit like an alarm clock, it was an alarm clock. Wait, didn't alarm clocks use batteries? This alarm clock was a battery-operated one, too. I looked at the extension cord, and there was nothing plugged into it. Eh? What was this extension cord for? Why was this extending all the way from the teacher's office?
いけない、ケイチさん、逃げて
サトコ。
それは違うんですの。騙された。
A black shadow was covering me. I felt my body freeze. It was so frozen that I felt like it was about to crack. I turned around slowly and saw someone holding a hatchet above their head. Sorry, Rena. I heard a sound coming from the bathroom, and I kind of lost my way. You know how it is. Anyways, are you really sure it's wise to be leaving the class like that? They could escape while you're with me. I dropped the alarm clock. It made a noise as it hit the ground.
どうして圭一君は延長コードをたどって目覚まし時計なんか持ってるのかな?
All the cells in my body were frozen. This was Rena's trap. Rena was suspicious of everyone, including me. This whole time, she thought there was someone connected to the people outside. This was a trap to lure that person out. Only the people outside knew about the time bomb. I was told about the whole thing, and so I followed the extension cord and picked up the alarm clock. How stupid of me.
待て、レナ。
圭一君のこと信じてたのに。ひどいよ、圭一君。
Rena hit me with the backside of the hatchet earlier. It was painful, but it didn't kill me. But this time she was holding the hatchet the right way. It wouldn't just crack my forehead. It would split my entire head open. Rena lifted the hatchet mercilessly. She moved slowly as if everything was in slow motion. She looked almost divine. Maybe it really was holy. I was praying, after all. Praying? What was I praying for? I was praying for my life. Rika to the rescue! It was so sudden, I couldn't tell what happened. Woo! Triumphant music! Rika-chan had jumped onto Rena from behind. I didn't know what kind of weapon Rika-chan used, but Rena started moaning. It clearly hurt. That brought me back to reality. Is it the syringe that she still had? I couldn't just watch them. I had to get the lighter from Rena. Let's go, Rika! This is why you're my favorite character! Rena knew I was after the lighter. She closed her fingers around it tightly. Rika-chan was grabbing onto the arm Rena was holding the hatchet in. I wanted to tell her to run, but thanks to Rika-chan, I could use both of my hands to get at the lighter. The lighter flew out of Rena's hand. It hit the hallway wall and dropped down to the floor. I picked it up. At the same moment I did, Rena managed to shake off Rika-chan. There's our chance. I turned into Satoko's direction. I heard Satoko screaming from the classroom. Satoko had figured out where Rena hid the time bomb. I wanted to catch Rena, but I didn't have time for that. I had to do something about the time bomb instead. Rika-chan had spread her arms, blocking Rena's path forward.
バカなことはやめて逃げろ。
圭一、これは初めてではないのですよ。覚えていないのですか？
え？
前の時、僕にあとわずかの頑張りがあれば、圭一は今度こそ間に合わせる。だから言ってなのです。
I didn't know what Rika-chan was talking about. But there was one thing I did know. Just like Rena and Mion were ready to give up their lives for their friends, and I was willing to give up mine, Rika-chan was prepared to do that too. Therefore, telling Rika-chan to run was like telling her she wasn't my friend. And so I will depend on my friend, Rika-chan.
すまん、リカちゃん。
圭一さん、もう時間が。
Leaving it up to Rika, I dashed for the classroom. Rika's played this chapter before. I feel like if Rika's played this chapter before, she should have done a lot more to prevent stuff. Like, here's the thing. Like, you would think, if Rika knew that Rena was going to do this, couldn't she have done something to warn people, be like, hey, Rena's going to, like, Rika could have called in a bomb threat or something to the school, or, like, done something to evacuate the school before Rena got there, couldn't she? As soon as Rika heard Keiichi's footsteps reach the classroom door, she sighed in relief. As she did, Rena's black shadow came even closer.
すごいよ、すごいよ。これは部活じゃないんだよ。リカちゃんは殺されちゃうよ。怒ったレナにきっと殺されちゃう。へえ、私が怖くないんだ。リカちゃんすごいよ。
Rika grabbed a mop as she ran from the storage closet. She picked it up and held it upside down like a spear. What? Rika's stance told Rena that she was ready to fight. Rika didn't look like a little girl anymore. She looked so brave that Rena was even startled by it.
すごいね。殺されるのが怖くないんだ。
Rika smiled cynically. Rika usually never smiled this way.
この私が死を恐れるとで
Yeah,
も
that deep voice though. What? Do you think I'd be? Tell me, Jack Sparrow. Do you fear death?
幾百の死の山脈を越えてきたこの私が
Several
今更何を恐れる
hundred.
というの
Jeez
か
Louise. She's played a lot more chapters than I have.
君リカちゃんじゃないね。あの夜に出会ったリカちゃんもどきの方だね。正体を表したな、宇宙人め。本物のリカちゃんをどこへやった？本物のリカ
Yikes. Yeah, creepy Rika.
ここにいるわよ。みぱー。ああ、その小バカにしたところは間違いなくリカちゃんだね。そう、お社様は宇宙人だった。フルデ家はその末裔で宇宙人の直系の一族だもんね。
Nope.
脳みそを叩き割って中の寄生虫を引きずり出してやるからね。
Rena raised her hatchet and charged at Rika with a scream. Give me a CG of the lightsaber fight.
一撃で叩き割ってあげるよ。
Rena looked like a beast charging towards its prey. Oh yes! Let's go! And this is where it's turning into an action game. Rika took a step backwards and lowered her body, preparing to counterattack. She did that with no hesitation.
あいにくね。遊んであげるわ。おいで、ナタ女。いいですの、ケイチさん。すべてのヒントと答えはもう朝の時にありましたの。
Oh, now it's Satogo's perspective. I'm so sad. I don't know what to do.
俺に分かるように話せ。
That has to be the thumbnail yet. Let's go console Keiichi. We haven't had that for a while.
つまりどういうことなんだ。
It's simple if you just remember. Come on, it's quite obvious when you do.
ねえ、今日は臭い。窓閉めて。バーカ。窓を閉めたらもっと暑くなるんだよ。
We had been smelling gasoline coming from outdoors. There was no forestry service people in the office, so they weren't doing any work today. The smell wasn't coming from anything they were doing. In other words, it was the smell of Rena's gasoline. Rena hid the gasoline near the classroom. She had it in a plastic container. You can't smell gasoline that's in a plastic container. So in other words, she had more gasoline ready than just the container she used to spread it around in the classroom. Where was the smell coming from? Was it coming from outside? Vaporized gasoline is heavier than air. It sinks. There was another hint other than that.
あれ、俺たちのボールがね。王女、お前がまた隠したんだろう。
誰がそんなものを隠しますの？どうせ隠すならもう少し気の利いたものを隠しましたよ。
Kids who love to play with their ball never lose it. It should have been in the same place as it always was, but it was gone. So that must mean Rena used it for something. The gasoline was coming from above. A ball was missing. So maybe it was stuffed somewhere.
レナさんは雨どいの出口をボールで詰めて雨どいいっぱいにガソリンを注いだんですの。
Get that Keiichi off the screen. It's either console Keiichi or OG Keiichi. No other compromises. Normally, I kind of agree. I do think that those are the better Keiichis. Having said that, the expression on the new Keiichi's face when he's just like has the lowered eyes, he looks just like so done with life, is kind of hilarious.
どこから？2階の屋根の上からですのよ。
The drain canal extended along the roof of the second floor and then came straight down to the ground. If it was plugged and filled with gasoline, it was like a huge Molotov cocktail that extended from the ground to the roof of the second floor. Furthermore, the drain canal ran by the classroom windows. If the canal exploded, the classroom would explode too.
じゃあつまり次元発火装置は
2階の窓から延長コードか何かで引っ張って屋根
How
の
did
上
she
です
get
わ。
this all in place before school today? I picked up a pair of scissors and cut Satogo's bonds.
そういやリカちゃんはどうやって縄跳びを解いたんだ。
あるございましたわね。私は溶けるほど痩せてなくて。
Uh-oh. I rubbed Satogo's head.
みんなを頼む。俺は屋上へ行く。
As I jumped out of the classroom, Satogo stopped me.
ケイチさん、これ
なんだよ。まだ何かあるの
Something
か。
silver sailed through the air. I caught it. It was a metal bat. Satoshi's bat! It's coming back! The aluminum power bat.
ニーニーのですのよ。後でちゃんと返してもらうでございますからね。
おう、すまん佐藤。
The metal bat fell right into my palm. I didn't even feel its weight. It really eased my mind. The name Satoshi's was written on the handle. It's been used to kill a few people before. This was the bat that belonged to Satogo's brother Satoshi. He was the victim of last year's tragedy. You and I were the same. I won't let another tragedy take place. I'll treat this as a gift from you, who was waiting in the wings. Let's rip apart the script of this demonic tragedy together. Let's go, Satoshi! I know there's still 2 more chapters left, but do you think Higurashi's use of the power of friendship trope is done well? Yeah, I think so. As I tried to run up the stairs, I heard a loud noise coming from the hallway by the teacher's office. Sometimes it's a bit heavy-handed, and there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, you're stupid to trust Shion when she literally is torturing your friends. But, you know, yeah, it's a good message all in all. Just to, like, you know, value your friends. I saw Rika-chan rolling on the floor. Damn, Rika-chan! You held out for as long as you could.
クソなのです。身体年齢があと5つ
It
もあ
must be
れば。
rough being like 1,000 years old, but only having like a young body to work with.
さあ、次はケイチくんだよ。うわー！
Oh,
べえ。
sorry,
Don't do
Rena.
that.
The guy called me about my car's extended warranty. I gotta go.
今は屋根の上だ。
よく気づいたね。よく気づいたね。でもさせるもんか。
Rena's face looked unbelievably scary. She was ready to rip me apart if she caught me. In that case, just try me. I jumped up the stairs, skipping every other step. Oh, just the way I go upstairs. I turned on the bug in my pocket. I didn't have time to put on the earphones. As Rena flew up the stairs, her foot got caught on a jump rope. She tripped and then 3 buckets fell on her head. How did Satoko get that up so fast? The result of Satoko's trap. Why did nobody take the hatchet when she fell? That would have made her way less dangerous. Satoko leaned against the wall and waved her index finger in a mocking gesture.
なかなかの線を言ってましたけど、まだまだこの私とトラップ勝負をするのは3億5000光年くらい早くてでございましたよ。さとこちゃん、光年は距離だよ。
I mean, no, she's got a point. I have to get the creepy Rena smile every time it happens. Smash! The 4th bucket hit Satoko on the head. I continued up to the rooftop. Rena ignored Satoko and ran after me. I thought he was making like the emoji, like wide eyes emoji.
大石さんか。やったぞ。ライターは奪った。次元破壊装置も分かってる。屋根の上。雨どい
Wait,
の
you
中。
took her lighter. You can use the pepper spray now.
今抑えに行ってる。
大石さん、まさかあれじゃ。
Luisa grabbed the pair of binoculars from Kuwagaya and looked at the rain gutter on the rooftop. There was something like an alarm clock sitting there. The cord from the clock was extending into the 2nd floor window. It was so obvious, but they didn't even notice until just now. Satoko was working hard to remove her classmates' restraints, but she couldn't do anything about the bike lock on Nimion's neck.
みんな、私はいいから早く逃げて。
Also, I could totally find something to create sparks of a hatchet in the classroom. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's okay, Satoko, you're a hero even if you can't gloat. Yeah.
あら、ミオさんら
Yeah,
し
she's
くも
been
な
for
い。
the rainer, alright?
こういう瞬間でも我が身の
Because her
部長らしくある
face
べきで
is
ござい
bleeding
ません。
profusely and she's probably lost a pint of blood.
部長はただ一言、こいつを外せと命令遊ばされれば結構ですのよ。
Satoko reached for the back of her collar and produced a bent hairpin. Satoko opened the window, climbed onto the windowsill, and faced the bike lock that was restraining Mion.
みんなは全部のカーテンを開けて窓を全部開けたら外へ駆け出すこと。
委員長、前原さんはどうするんです？
ケイちゃんは警察が助けてくれるから、みんなはとにかく一刻も早くここから逃げて。って、もう外したの？ 北条聡子に
I'm
とって
just saying.
ユージロックの U はこんなの楽
Mio's
勝の
fa-
U でございま
There's
した
no
よ
way that that sentence is that many words in Japan. In Japanese. Mio's face has a shocking lack of blood on it. The binoculars were trained on the classroom. All the curtains were open, as well as the windows. The children, in turn, were all running out of the schoolyard. Luisi pushed Otaka. No, that's the guy at Hooters. He pushed Utaka aside and grabbed his radio and yelled into it.
全班突入しろ突入人質を全員確保しろ犯人は人質1名を追って2階へ上がった模様
これ何の真似だね大石君無線を返したまえ
Oh, Uisi might be losing his pension for that one. Utaka tried to grab the radio from Uisi, but Kumagai stepped in. My man! There was a dull noise and Utaka crumpled to the floor, convulsing. Whoa! Guys! Guys, Kumagai can actually smile! I can't believe it. I thought life had just beat him down too much. Oh no, I hate it when that happens.
教室内にはまだガソリンが充満してるぞ十分に注意しろガス弾や閃光弾の類の使用は禁ずる
Yeah?
繰り返すガス弾閃光弾の使用は禁ずる大爆発
Okay, I hear you. Use the gas bombs and flares. I said don't! That was fast. Only a little bit. Is this Kumagai's chapter? That's why he was the picture on the Steam page.
か扉を打ち破れないですかね
教室真正面ですガソリン臭濃厚火災に着火の恐れあり指示を待ちます
くそブレーカーを落とせば上がりだと思ったのにな電源室は放棄2階部分を制圧されたし
突入班了解突入
大高君電源室確保失敗時はどうするつもりだったんです
それに失敗しないための特殊部隊だ
これだから坊ちゃん育ちはあとは時計のコンセントを抑えるし
Uishi's
かない
like,
か
I hate rich people. Bleh. This is why I gamble my money in Mahjong.
1階屋根部分に男子人質1名を発見しました
大石さん前原君です
スピーカーを貸せ前原さん時計の電源は2階の奥の部屋
I shook my head repeatedly. I couldn't do that. Rena was coming after me, so I couldn't head that way. What else could I do? The only way was to go up to the roof of the second floor and get the clock from there. Let's go! Uisi's the hype man! This is so hype. This is the best chapter. Like, it just is. How are they gonna top this? Uisi-san was telling me to go further up. Satoko only told me that it was up on the rooftop on the second floor, and she didn't tell me where exactly. She only said it was in the drain canal, but maybe Uisi-san found it with his binoculars. I put my foot on the railing of the veranda and ran up to the rooftop. I had never felt so light. I felt like I could lift myself up with just 2 or 3 fingers. 30 seconds would be plenty of time. I could do it in 1,500 seconds. Oh, wait. I could get there in half that. Over there. Was it that? It was!
ああ撃てたら撃ちたいけどそれ実弾ですよね実は狙撃銃タイプの催涙ガス銃とかそういうことだったりしません
Higurashi getting so hype with something I never had in my betting cards when you started chapter 1. I mean, I still think chapter 1 is probably my second favorite chapter thus far. Chapter 1 was really good. It was a really good start. Also, chapter 1 is free on Steam, which is crazy.
そういうのは軍隊で使ってくださいよ日本の警察には必要ない
Wait,
で
what
す
did he say?
ね
Yeah, it's live ammunition. Whoops.
前原さん追ってきて
Thanks! I knew that.
追い詰められる
How many more seconds did I have? Who cares? Whoa! I slid down the roof and grabbed the kitchen timer that was sitting on the drain pipe, which was filled with gasoline. There was a cord of a copper wire attached to it. This was supposed to create sparks and start an explosion. The hands on the clock kept moving, but with the second hand trying to reach the minute hand. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Whoa! I just pushed the minute hand back so it can't go up that far. I threw it on the ground. A moment later, I heard the noise of something breaking. That was risky. It definitely could have sparked that one. Ha, 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 ha. Did I do it? Yes, sir! Now let's just hope Rena doesn't smash us with a hatchet. But here's the thing. This chapter is getting too happy of an ending. None of the other chapters had a happy ending at all, so something bad's gonna happen. Your only complaint is that the music was too quiet during this scene. Well, I have to pump the music down in editing, like through OBS. Otherwise, it's hard to hear my voice. I also turn my own voice down, believe it or not.
Yatta! Maebara-san! Yatta! Keiichi's
more competent than I would be. If I was in his shoes, I definitely would not have gotten up there that fast or found it in time. I would have been like, where is it? I thought it was, where is the drain? But not only policemen, but the children who were on their way to the ambulances raised their voices in cheer.
大石さん、消防からっす。現場は依然危険度最大につき、突入犯全員の即時退却を進言しています。
次元発火装置はもうないのに？
発火装置がなくても危険度は最大級の現場だそうです。これ以上は突入犯全員の生命に危険があります。
くそ、屋上の前原君をどうしよう。2階屋根ならな。
大石さん、図面では降車下に花壇があります。
Once.
そこへ飛び降りるように誘導しましょう。
Keiichi competent, 2 words that could never exist together in a sentence. I just said that he's more competent than I would be in that situation. That's more of a diss on my own competence rather than a diss on his, or a praise of his.
作戦中止、退却せよ、退却せよ。
聞こえますか？それから竜宮さんも、もうそこは危険です。いつ爆発するかわからない。校舎の下に花壇があります。
花壇だって？畜生、ここからじゃよくわかんねえってのによ。
But it didn't sound like I had enough time to be looking for it. I noticed a white hand at the edge of the roof, followed by Rena's head.